A few days ago, I went with my girlfriend to a very beautiful area here in central Java. It is located about 50 kilometers away from Yogyakarta. The area is called Magelang. It's also a city here in central Java. And we visited Mount Zuming, which is, I believe, an inactive volcano. I'm not pretty sure about that. But it is a very beautiful area. As you can see, a lot of vegetable farming is taking place there, and it's very interesting to see how the people live there, what the farmers are doing and how they grow these vegetables. It's also way cooler up there. And later on we also visited the very famous village Nepal Vanjava. And later we had lunch, okay, and we just went to a normal local little restaurant where they were selling fried rice. Yeah, nothing fancy, no fancy food, nothing 5-star, nothing really exclusive, you know. And I wanted to order 2 portions of fried rice for me and my girlfriend, and I actually wanted to pay, yeah, for the meal. And then she said, no, I'm gonna have the bill, I'm gonna pay for it because you spent so much money already. Yeah, and this is what really struck me, and this is what I want to talk about in this video with you here. Yeah, this seemingly little experience, but when you consider my dating background, also in other countries, especially in the Philippines. So this little incident here, a positive incident, this little story actually, yeah, summarizes my experience and also kind of highlights the storyline which I try to tell you in many of my other videos. You know, this little fact that she was so considerate, and this is what I liked about her in that moment. She was so considerate, you know, so cost conscious and caring, you know. She knew that I was paying for the trip, you know, the transportation. We rented a private car, although she didn't know how much I paid the driver. But I can tell you, for Indonesian circumstances, it was quite costly. So, but she knew that I was paying for the trip, so she was conscious of this, and also she didn't take it for granted. And this is what I, in many of my videos, try to convey. Indonesian women are, at least my current girlfriend also, yeah, and many others, they are more considerate when it comes to money. Yeah, and she said, no, let me have the bill, I will pay for it because you spent so much money already. To be very honest with you, I have never ever heard this from a Filipina when I was in the Philippines. This is just my own experience. Maybe I met the wrong Filipinas, and I'm not saying that there are no considerate Filipinas in the Philippines. I'm not saying that, and you know that, okay? But I have to, it is all based on my personal experience only. That's why I'm doing this video, you know. It never happened to me in the Philippines. The girls sometimes, yes, they thanked me. In the Philippines, the Filipinas, they thanked me for taking them out or buying dinner or buying the movie theater and stuff like that. Sometimes they thanked me, but most of the time not. You know, this is also something really strange, you know. But here in Indonesia, it is just different. And yeah, that's the story with my girlfriend just a few days ago. And I was very happy about this, you know. So she has a job, of course. She earns her own money. And this is also a little bit different, I think, to the Philippines. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is just my impression. Correct me if I'm wrong, that here in Indonesia, Indonesian women, they know how to earn their money. Most of them have a stable job, you know. They want their own income. They want to be also kind of independent, you know. My girlfriend as well, she is a designer. She is studied So she works as a teacher in Yogyakarta and she earns her own money. It's not a big salary. For those of you who are coming from Indonesia, you guys know how much a teacher earns in Indonesia. It's ridiculous, actually. You know, it's a way underpaid profession, and although education is of course very important, but why are these Indonesian women more considerate when it comes to money, and why do they seem to be less materialistic? I have no answer to this question, but all I can say is that it must have to do something with the culture, you know. Also things I talked about in other videos. So it is just the way it is, and this is also the feedback I have received from many Indonesian women, yeah, by now, up until this day, in regards to my videos, you know, comments on YouTube, private conversations, discussions, exchanges and things like that, you know, chats. For those women who married a foreigner, some women actually confirm and share their story, you know, how when they met this guy, this foreigner, this bully, wherever he came from, you know, Australia, Europe, France, America, some of the guys were actually not rich, you know. Some of them even were broke, you know. This is what the Indonesian women told me, you know. So when these women met these, let's say, poor, broke guys, not all of them were poor, you know, but many of them were not rich, you know, or had a big house or a big car or whatever, you know. They just were normal human beings who had a stable job, you know. But here comes the important thing for Indonesian women. This is kind of the underlying story, which I tried to, which I kind of figured out, is that, yeah, Indonesian women really value attitude more than if you are rich or have a big bank account. You know, for the Indonesian woman, it is more important the right attitude, you know, the right mindset. I've talked about this in other videos, why Indonesian women actually prefer Westerners, you know, and it also has to do with respect, you know. Indonesian women, like any other woman around the world, of course, before you say, oh, other women also want respect. Yeah, but these videos are about Indonesian women, so I want to remind you, yeah, these videos are about Indonesian women, you know, and certainly many things which I mention here about my experience, my dating experience with Indonesian women, or things I share about Indonesian women, all certainly also apply 80%, maybe 90% to all women around the world, you know. So, and yeah, this is what I hear from out of their mouth, you know, when they, of course, Indonesian women also are looking for a breadwinner, you know. The traditional, or let's say the common Indonesian woman is looking for a stable relationship which leads to marriage, and of course, when she is, her search criterias are in that way that, of course, she is looking for a stable guy, you know, a guy who has a job, who can provide for the family and eventually for the children, you know. So she's looking for a breadwinner, right? A guy who is financially stable, who is financially solid, you know, who can manage his money. But first of all, he needs to be able to earn money, you know, and then, of course, he needs to be able to manage the money. And so he is economically stable, you know, but also emotionally stable, because Indonesian women, like all other women, they need also emotional stability, right? And this is what they are looking for. They are not so much looking at your bank account. Like, you know, I hear many American guys, for example, they really complain that when they date in America, in the United States, I don't know how it is in Germany, because I haven't been dating any German woman in decades, believe it or not, and I don't want to, I don't care, I'm not interested in these women anymore. But the American guys, they complain and say, you know, when they go on a date with a American woman inside the United States. Really, the very first thing the American girl or American woman wants to find out and clarify when she dates a guy for the first time, what does he do? You know, and this would be also almost her first question. So what do you do? What do you do? What are you doing for a living? Because she wants to qualify that guy. And if she finds out that this guy is, I don't know, a janitor, or he has, I don't know, a teacher or what, then she might even leave the date and finish the date very politely, because she don't want to waste time with this guy. So this is what I hear out of, these are the stories I hear coming out of America. You know, there you actually can see how materialistic these women are. And sometimes we Westerners complain about how materialistic the Filipinas or other Asian women are. So actually it's not true, you know. You have also probably even more materialistic women in the West. And these guys who have no experience in dating in Asia, you know, they are maybe divorced, you know, and they're dating around in the States, and then they are completely disappointed, and they come to Asia and they are completely shocked in a positive way, you know, but they still have the scarcity mindset, you know. And anyway, but that's a different topic. I'm digressing here. So Indonesian women, for them, inner values, personality and character is way more important than your bank account. But as I mentioned, of course, you need to be able to provide. You want to be a stable guy financially and emotionally. And yeah, I thought I'm gonna share this with you today here. I hope you found it useful also for these people who had bad experiences in other countries, perhaps the Philippines, perhaps Thailand, you know. And I dated in all these countries. I dated extensively in the Philippines, so I know what I'm talking about, although of course I'm not the godfather of dating, and I don't want to be, okay? I don't want to present myself as the dating guru here. I don't want to be that. Yeah? Don't get me wrong. And yeah, certainly I dated also to a great extent. Way back in the Philippines, the wrong kind of woman, you know, because I started off in the bar girl scene first, you know, and then I hung out there for many years, and I thought, this is the dating scene in the Philippines. This is what's dating about, you know. But only later, after like a few years, I was able to step out of this bar girl scene thing, and I could, you know, it was a process, you know. And many guys start with the bar girls first, and then they got stuck forever there, then you're basically lost and you don't know what's really going on or what you really can achieve inside the Philippines or in Thailand. But you know, this is my story, and I admit, when it comes to the Philippines in the early years, I was dating completely the wrong clientele of women, you know. When you date bar girls, you get what you, I don't know, what you deserve, you know. And the same thing in Thailand. But the bar girl scene here in Indonesia is not that big like in Thailand or in the Philippines. You have bar girls, and there are in certain cities, especially in Jakarta. So this is my context, you know. But for those of you who burned their fingers in other countries, that's why I'm doing these videos, and also this video, so to share the story with my girlfriend, you know. I was very surprised and very happy, you know, how considerate she was, you know, and not just expecting me to pay and cover all the expenses and all the bills. And that was not the only expense she covered during our trip to Magelang, to Mount Zuming. There were also some other small minor expenses she covered out of her own free will. I didn't need to ask or to push, you know. So this is a big difference to other Southeast Asian countries in my experience. Again, I want to remind you, I'm talking only out of my own experience. And for those of you who are considering Indonesia for dating, come here and check it out. And I just received a very long comment by a viewer in regards to some of my previous videos, and he watched many of my videos. And now he just returned back from Indonesia. He spent about a month, I believe, and he was very happy to share the comment in the comment sections, you know, how he dated a lot in Indonesia, and he basically gave his field report. You know, I don't want to use the word field report actually, because it is that's a term stemming from the pickup scene, you know, but let's call it a field report, because he was very happy to share his experience. He was very transparent, and he was so amazed how many girls he was able to date, you know, and mostly on dating sites. Yeah, this is also what I've been talking about in other videos. Indonesian dating sites are absolutely recommended. They are different than the Philippine dating sites, you know. You have way more scammers on Philippine dating sites than on Indonesian dating sites. So this viewer dated a lot of girls, or he met them on the Indonesian dating sites, on these online dating sites, and he also did cold approaches, and both ways were successful. Long story short, he is now together with a girl, and this guy is 41 years old and his girlfriend now is 21. You see, age gap is also not an issue. And he mentioned very positive things. He was speaking very positively about his experience with dating Indonesian women, and I could also see, even though he only spent 30 days, but he dated a lot of women, so his assessment of the overall dating scene and how things work in Bali compared to Jakarta, and how Indonesian girls tick, really amazes me, because this guy really figured out the basic things and how things really are in only 30 days, you know. But probably he also had a lot of conversation with these girls. He asked a lot of questions, you know, which you should do to learn about culture and the psychology of the people and the girls, you know, and all that stuff, which is very useful, you know, to get a knack of these dynamics, you know. So this is also a very positive experience here, a very positive comment. And this guy, by the way, did not hang around in bars or girly bars or whatever, you know. So this is the story of his comment, you know. It's very easy to date in Indonesia. It's very easy to meet girls. The girls want to date, they are open. Yeah, there are certain obstacles I talked about in other videos, like the language and the culture. The girls are very shy and stuff like that. But if you want to date an Indonesian woman, if you want to find an Indonesian woman, or 2 or 3, and if you want to find a good Indonesian woman, you will find them, you know. It's not difficult here in Indonesia to find good women who are considerate, who are also caring, and are also cost conscious, and are less materialistic, because they value inner values more than anything else. Most of the women, of course, in Indonesia. So like my current girlfriend, right? So with that being said, I'm checking out for today. Hope this video was useful. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in hopefully one of my next videos. Take care. Bye bye.